to our new adventure here on Rasslin Rage. We're calling this show Rage of Honor with Chunk. And as you can see, I'm here by myself in my old man cave. It's a little destroyed right now. We're in the middle of renovation, and bear with me. Hopefully this show will get as good as Rasslin Rage is. But anyway, this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be talking about Ring of Honor and bringing people up to speed on what's going on in the weekly shows. I know that people have Twitter and Facebook, and the Bucks and Marty Skrull and all the talent from Ring of Honor are utilizing social media very well. So people probably know what's already happened, and that's fine. I understand that. I already know what happened. I know things that probably won't be aired for another month or better on the weekly show. But with that being said, we're gonna go over the weekly shows. We'll talk. I'll give you a little background on some of the wrestlers that they show on the show. Like some people are upstarts just starting out to a year, 2 years into the business, stuff like that. People like Flip Gordon, who's only been in Ring of Honor for going into his second year, and guys or women like Jenny Rose, she's in Ring of Honor, and I gotta remember Stella Grey. She's a new female talent that they got. She's still in her first year. We'll be talking about them this week. So let's get into it. Our first match, we had Chuckie T, who's in a tag team with Trent Beretta, who used to be a WWE superstar. They're called Best Friends, and Chuckie T also defeated John Gresham at Supercard of Honor. You guys might remember that if you watch Supercard. Amazing pay-per-view. If you haven't watched it, you probably should. A lot of good wrestling in that. But Chuckie T faced off against Josh the Goods Woods. He's a new guy, up and coming. He won the 2017 Ring of Honor Top Prospect Tournament. So he's a pretty promising young talent, but since the tournament, he hasn't really done much. They haven't really worked him very often, so it's good to see him on TV. This match had some good back and forth going on, had a bunch of near falls, but ultimately Chuckie T put him in an armbar and tapped the Goods out, so but it was a good match. And I don't know too much about Josh the Goods Woods. I haven't watched any of his stuff on YouTube or anything like that. I'm sure he's got something out there. I'll have to do a little more homework on that for you. But hopefully we see him more on the weekly show to get him into some of the pay-per-views, because he's got a good physique. He's got a good look. He might be somebody. All right, and then after this match, we got into a couple of promos. I don't really understand why Ring of Honor does so. They do a lot of talking. There were only 3 matches this week on the weekly show, but they did a lot of talking. 4 promos and an interview, which took up almost half the show. And I mean, when you're only working with like 35 minutes, you should probably limit it to like 1 or 2 promos, But this promo by Cody Rhodes was pretty good. It cuts to Brandy and Cody standing there, and Cody looks at Brandy and says, "So, who's your favorite wrestler?" And she says, "Cody Rhodes." And she says, "Who's your favorite wrestler, Cody?" "Dalton Castle." Dalton Castle. Why Dalton Castle? Oh, well, he needs the fans. So, he Cody basically called out Dalton Castle. Says he's beaten everybody that there is to beat. Basically, he's beaten Kenny Omega. He's beaten everybody. So he called out Dalton Castle, but only after Brandy Rhodes referred to the cleaner as Kenny Ho-Mega. Yes, Kenny Ho-Mega. Maybe we're going to see Kenny Omega, Dalton Castle, Cody Rhodes three-way or something. That would be pretty sweet. If you don't know who Dalton Castle is, he's the Ring of Honor world champion. He's got a really strange way about him, but he's a great talent. Ring of Honor's chock full of it from top to bottom. Most people that know Ring of Honor only know the Bullet Club. That's what they know, and that's because that's all that's forced down anybody's throats. So Dalton Castle is amazing. Go check him out if you don't know who he is. And then we got another promo, like right after the Cody Rhodes promo, which was kind of weird and strange to me. But whatever. Each promotion does things differently, so I guess this is the way they do it, and it works for them. Obviously, they're making money, right? Doing something I ain't doing. Anyway, we saw a promo by Matt Taven's Kingdom. I don't know who the other two guys are. I know Matt Taven, but I'm not sure who the other two guys are. But they came in and they stole the six-man tag team championships at Supercard, and after SoCal Uncensored won them in a ladder match, and they came, they swiped them, they ran away. In this promo, they said, "Look, we should have never not had the belts. We are the first and only six-man tag team champions in Ring of Honor. They were stolen from us, and we took back what was ours, basically." And after about 13 minutes of promos or something like that, we get into another match. This was the Women of Honor. If you're not up on the female talent in Ring of Honor, they're pretty amazing. They they have a lot of good female talent, young female talent, and one of them is Sumie Sakai, who won the Women of Honor Championship tournament. She beat Kelly Klein, gave her her first loss in Ring of Honor to win the first ever Women of Honor Championship, I guess. I'm not sure if they're calling it the Heavyweight Championship or anything other than that. I believe it's just the Women of Honor Championship. This was a really good match. Sumie Sakai wrestled against Stella Grey, one of the young performers that I was talking about earlier, who's only been in the business for a little over a year. To be on the stage that she's on so early in her career is pretty amazing. It says something about her, but this was a pretty good match. There was a lot of back and forth, and I thought it was going to be a squash match. I really did. You got the champion against a relative newcomer, first year in, and actually Stella Grey almost upset the champ on a number of occasions. 2 or 3 times she almost beat her, but ultimately Sumie Sakai retained her title, and then Jenny Rose comes into the ring. Jenny Rose and Sumie Sakai were friends at one point. They wrestled against Kelly Klein and a couple of other girls, and in a couple pay-per-views in the past. They seem to have a pretty good rapport with each other. They seem to be on the same page, but when Jenny Rose got in the ring, she said, look, I'm happy that you won the championship and all, but we're not always on the same page. She cuts to a video clip that she'll, the normal wrestling video clip to start a feud where something in a match happens, unintentional. Sumie Sakai got pushed into Jenny Rose in the corner and lost the match for him, basically. And she said, "Look, we're not always on the same page." And with that being said, I want to be the first one to challenge you for your Women of Honor championship. And Sumie Sakai responded with, "We're friends, and I don't want to fight you. But if it's for the championship, then I will. I'll give you your shot, basically. And that's cool. I like when a champ does that kind of stuff. And then another promo. Bully Ray comes out. I don't know if any of you heard, or actually, I know that you've all heard of it, because we talked about it on Rasslin Rage. Bully Ray comes out and talks about taking over the show, taking the show hostage at Supercard of Honor, and basically telling everybody in Ring of Honor that they're nothing because they aren't as good as him because he's got a WWE Hall of Fame ring. Well, I'm sure a couple guys didn't like that in the back, But this week he comes out and he hijacks this show too. And, he says a lot of the same stuff, how Ring of Honor will be nothing without him. He's the enforcer and blah, 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 Bully Ray. He's pretty long-winded. But not only did he call out the talent in the back, but he called out the COO, Joe Koff. Now, Joe is always in attendance for every show. He's always in the crowd, usually up in the nosebleeds, so that he's not really recognized. But he did not look very pleased with this, So he Bully Ray says, Joe, it's your fault that these guys are here. You're the one signing all these crybaby, pampered, couple of other words, superstars, and it's your fault they're here. If you didn't try to be the nice guy and sign everybody to a deal, we wouldn't have this petty stuff with Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes and the Bullet Club going on, and we wouldn't have some of these crybabies like Matt Taven and the Kingdom around here, and he basically said, look, my WWE Hall of Fame ring makes me better than everybody in the building. So, to hell with you. And after that, we got into the main event, our TV main event. And I think it's funny that the announcer announces that to the crowd. Our next event, or our next match is your television main event, he says. And I'm like, well, shouldn't that be the main event for the whole thing, But maybe, I don't know. I've never been to a Ring of Honor event, so I'm not sure if they do the tapings while they have dark matches and stuff. I'm not sure if they tape the TV main event before they tape some dark matches, or I'm not, I don't know. So, or if they might tape the TV stuff at pay-per-views or something, maybe. I'm not really sure how that works, but I just thought it was funny that the announcer announced it to the crowd. But in the main event, we saw Flip Gordon and Silas Young. Flip Gordon, who is not all in. Flip Gordon hasn't been signed by Cody Rhodes to be at the event in Chicago in September. So I don't understand that because this guy's pretty sweet. You know, I don't know if you haven't seen Flip Gordon. He's pretty amazing. He's going into his second. He's entering into his second year of work with the organization, and he's pretty amazing. He's pretty innovative, and he can do things in the ring that other guys just wish they could. You know, he's doing springboard spears and 450 splashes, and I mean a lot of stuff that you see Ricochet doing, and you see guys like Daniel Bryan doing, and I mean you see other guys doing it, but some of the big guys that are some of the big names in other promotions, they just can't do this kind of stuff. You're never gonna see Braun Strowman do a 450 splash, and this guy's getting pushed like over the top push. You'll never see Brock Lesnar do a suicide dive. I don't think it's even possible. I don't know if the ropes are even wide enough for him to fit through them. So, uh, but yeah. And then you got Silas Young. This guy looks like he's entering into his third stint in AA or rehab or something. He looks like the offspring of Outlaw Ron Bass and I don't know, uh, Jake Roberts or something. Maybe drunk Terry Funk, or I don't know. He looks really rough. Really, really rough. But I guess that's where the moniker "the last real man" comes from, right? Uh, he's pretty manly, to say the least. But this match was amazing, to say the least. I'm not a big Silas Young fan, uh, but mainly because he's with the Beer City Bruiser and his partner, and they do a lot of crap, so I'm not a fan of it. But Flip Gordon, he's pretty amazing, and this match was pretty cool, Uh, Flip Gordon, I thought was gonna upset the champ. It wasn't for the title or anything, It was just a match on TV, so I thought maybe they might throw it to the kid. It looked that way, the way the match went. Um, closing, closing few moments. He hit Flip Gordon hits a Falcon Arrow, gets a 2 count. Silas Young kicks out. Does like a wrap up or like a half Nelson into a knee to the face that looked really amazing. I was pretty astonished by that. That was kind of cool. Um, but does this move and then picks him up, slams him on his face. 1, 2, 3. Match is over. I didn't expect it. So I don't know. But that's about all I got for Ring of Honor. Like I said, it's only a 30-minute show, so it goes pretty quick. Uh, make sure you check out the description down there. Look for any tags or any links or anything like that might have magically appeared after I render the video. I don't know where it comes from. I think I got little elves in there doing stuff for me, but I don't know. Like Fite TV should be down there, and probably Pro Wrestling Tees, and that's where you go to get the cool shirts, the cool Rasslin Rage shirts, and the Chunk Equals Ratings shirts. And Highspots should be down there. That's where you go to get everything. You need boots, you need ropes, you need turnbuckles, you need aprons, you need a t-shirt, you need a mask, you need basically anything wrestling related. They have it. Not real sure about action figures. I should probably go check that out, man. What am I doing? But that'll be down there, and there might be a link down there for Firebird Entertainment too. Firebird Entertainment. That's who's allowing us to interview Ron Simmons and Tony Atlas in June. And again, we really thank you guys for that. That's really cool. But if you have an event that you need some talent at, get a hold of these guys at Firebird Entertainment. They can probably hook you up with someone that'll come help out your event. Maybe make some waves in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Uh, and so make sure you read the description. And if you need any of those cool services, just click on one of the links. But I think I'm gonna get out of here. So they call me lonely. I mean, they call me Chunk. And see you next time on Rage of Honor.